And its greatest spectacle, the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals in Las Vegas, Nevada. The 24 premier Monster Jam teams going for 2 world championships. The battle for the racing title and the freestyle title coming up next. Who's ready for Monster Jam? Hold on, baby! Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas has seen some great racing action as we have whittled the 24 best trucks in the world down to the final 2. No surprise on the left. Maximum Destruction looking for an 8th world championship. But upstart Alex Blackwell has captain's curse in the championship race for the first time. He'll have to beat Tom Meents if young Alex Blackwell is going to get that first championship here in 2009. And they leave the starting line and they come through Thunder Alley off the chicane. They are dead even. Blackwell is going for it, and over he goes. Look out. Captain's curse goes into the safety hold area. Those seats obviously held just for that purpose. Everything okay. Blackwell is okay, and the championship is going to go for the 8th time to Tom Meents, who wins it all in Maximum Destruction. Let's get over and catch up with Tom.
8th world championship. Congratulations.
Woo! Man. I got to thank Brandon Lambert, Mark Cole. Them 2 guys right there, they dedicated to this win. They busted their tails. It was really up to them 2 guys right there. Man, they're working right now. So crazy. Woo!
The new world racing champion, Tom Meents, Maximum Destruction.
Now Tom and the 23 other drivers in this field will get ready for freestyle. And Chris Bergeron draws the #1 spot. He'll bring Brutus out. And, you know, you would think with 24 drivers, it would pretty much be impossible to win the world championship from the #1 spot. I don't know if it's that much tougher than anywhere else. Last year, we saw Chad Tingler open just like this, big, in the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. He ended up finishing 3rd behind eventual world freestyle champion Adam Anderson and Taz and Don Cretin and the Scarlet Bandit. So Chris Bergeron knows if he can put up a big performance, the judges here are tougher than they will be anywhere else. They will make whoever wins this title earn it. And he's got just as good a chance as anybody. You can see he's coming out and going big. If nothing else, Bergeron obviously intends to set the bar high. And one of the things about a Chris Bergeron freestyle, this veteran always drives his truck on the ragged edge, puts it to the limit, and that has been the problem for Chris at times in the past. You can see something not quite right there. He's able to kind of get it load up, checks it down, and now he's able to continue on with the run. But again, the problem for Chris in the past, his equipment tends to not be able to withstand the punishment he will put the truck through. Now, so far tonight, here at the World Championships, he looks very close to filling the regulation time. And you have just got to fill the time in Las Vegas. You will not win the World Championship if you cannot fill your time and get it into bonus. It's just not going to happen. The judges deduct way too much if you stop your run before the end of the regulation time. And indeed, Chris Bergeron fills that regulation time, and he will now be able to take it into bonus. And in today's Monster Jam world, to win a World Championship, most people believe not only do you have to fill regulation, but it is such a competitive field, you have to be able to pick up at least 2, 3, 4 points in the bonus period to have any chance to win the title. Well, look at this, right off the bat. Our first freestyler, Chris Bergeron, not only is going to be able to get a solid score from the first 3 judges for sure, indeed, he will pick up strong bonus points. Now, the best score you could get if you were perfect across the board, which is probably not going to happen, would be a 45. But here, a 29 is an outstanding score. And look at Medusa coming out strong, trying to go after it. We'll look at some of the highlights from Medusa's run as the former 2-time world champion came out to the delight of her fans back on the Monster Jam circuit. And Medusa had some great highlights, but as we were just mentioning, not able to fill the clock certainly cost her a chance to get a big number. And Medusa back in Monster Jam with a score of 16. Now, Randy Moore, we're going to look at some highlights from the War Wizard as he comes out. Randy Moore and War Wizard making the first appearance at the World Finals. So for a Vegas rookie, Randy Moore looking very impressive. Drivers, when they come to Vegas for the first time, a lot of it is just about getting an actual field for the biggest obstacles and the fastest course they've ever competed on. And you can see Randy Moore and the War Wizard looking very, very strong in his run. And as a matter of fact, Randy obviously thrilled the crowd, but did not fill the clock. And that's why the score is just a 19, 10 points short of our leader. Candace Jolly, the other rookie in this field in terms of being a Las Vegas rookie. She's in her actual third year of competition, but her first berth in the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals. Candace thrilling a lot of folks as well, getting some big air in the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and she had a very solid run on her very first freestyle opportunity here in the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals. Look at the big air as we look at some of the big moments from the Monster Mutt Dalmatians run, and Candace Jolly ends up moving into second place for the moment with a score of 24. Now, one of the biggest buzzes of the entire night was when freestyle motocross and former supercross champion Travis Pastrana, for the first time, competes in his own truck. Right after racing, they took off the Pastrana 199 body that Cam McQueen had used for racing, put the new Nitro Circus body on it, and then Travis Pastrana puts his helmet on, and the freestyle motocross and supercross legend comes out, and the crowd is just on fire, and it's obvious that Travis is having a blast. Look at the big air from Travis Pastrana, and again, it takes a very special talent to be able to come out here, never having competed in Monster Jam before, but Pastrana is such a world-class motorsports athlete. He is up to the challenge and is thrilling the fans in the brand new Nitro Circus truck. Down to 40 seconds. Now, one thing that Travis probably won't have a feel for is when to go big and when to back it up to try and extend the clock. You've just got to fill the clock to get the big numbers here in Las Vegas. And as soon as I say that, you can see he takes it down inside, 30 seconds left in regulation. So Travis Pastrana, very, very impressive. He won't leave a whole lot of time on the clock as he rolls it over. And the score is at 26, put him into second place as Pastrana thrills the Monster Jam fans. So the guy who's made a name for himself on two wheels, looking awful good on four as well. Let's look now at some highlights from Dan Evans and the Destroyer. This is what they came to see, the Destroyer fans. One of the only drivers who will do a move in reverse, and he does it over one of the big obstacles, but he's not able to really nail it. So Dan says, I didn't like that. We're going to turn around and continue on with the run. Able to get some big air, but for the Las Vegas veteran, Dan Evans, not enough highlight moments, and he will get a score of 17 from the judges. Chad Fortune has had some great moments and some disappointing moments in Superman. He'll call this one disappointing because he was not able to fill the clock, but he does turn the fans on in spectacular fashion once again, as Chad has been known to do. And the Superman Ford not able to fill the clock this time around as we look at how it went over for him. Only a score of 8 from the judges as he was not able to last the entire 90 seconds on the original clock. David Smith has finished as high as 4th in the World Championship Freestyle competition in the past, brought out King Crunch, and had a very, very solid run. So David Smith and King Crunch, once again, one of the guys you expect to fill the clock, one of the guys who's pretty much going to hit every move out there. And if you want to pick a dark horse when you come into this field, here's a guy who's always going to have a chance. He's won on big stadiums before, never won a world championship, but he has been close. And he comes out and gives a nice account of himself once again this time. His score of 23, though, not enough to wrest the lead away from the very first guy who hit the track, Chris Bergeron, still in the #1 spot in Brutus. Now it's Jimmy Cretin coming out in the Bounty Hunter, a former world freestyle champion. He won the title back in 2005. It really stunned a lot of people because Cretin has been so close to winning the racing championship. That was the title that most of the experts expected to see Cretin win first. He has still not won a world racing championship, but he did get the world freestyle title back in 2005. Now, one of the things to note when you watch Jimmy Cretin in the Bounty Hunter, he does what the judges want to see. He is technically so gifted. He'll give them the big air, but he'll do a little bit of everything. He knows the judges want to see variety. He'll hit everything on the track. He'll pull a variety of wheelies. He'll get into donuts. he will do technically some very, very fine freestyles, and that is exactly why he has been able to win on virtually every track in Monster Jam, including right here in Sam Boyd Stadium some 4 years ago when he grabbed that championship for the first time. Now, he has had a great run going here, and again, doing everything the judges want to see. If he can fill the clock and get as many bonus points as possible, Chris Bergeron's time in the hot seat where the leader resides may be just about up. Look at that, beautifully done, a slap wheelie from Jimmy Cretin and the Bounty Hunter, and again, he is able to bring the truck down. He didn't ride it out too far, so he settled the front of the truck back down in time to turn it into a combination. And now he takes on a brand new stack that has just been brought out. I mean, Cretin is giving the judges everything they want. His regulation scores are in. Now he's into bonus time. Now, I'm not a judge, but I'm going to have to guess that we're looking at a new leader right here as Cretin gives you everything you want to see. And the Bounty Hunter. Oh, look at that as he... Oh, what a move. What a move by Jimmy Cretin. And he actually continued driving on. That gives him the lead. Jimmy Cretin going for a second world championship, and the Bounty Hunter has the lead. And what a great save by John Cisak and Batman. We look at some highlights from the very popular Batman monster truck, and of course, its popular driver, former two-time racing champion John Cisak, whose racing championship reign ended tonight, but he turns the fans on in freestyle. The score, though, at 21, well short of the 32 that has Bounty Hunter in first place. Well, if you're used to seeing the Avenger in a green body, Jim Kohler always has something new for us in Las Vegas. Oh, but you can see he didn't want that to happen. Just 10 seconds into the run, the truck flips over, and a disappointment for the 2003 world champion. Here's another former world freestyle champion, Pablo Huffaker, the 2007 champion. He won that title in Captain's Curse. This time, he's behind the wheel of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And Pablo, a Team Gravedigger driver who has always been spectacular here in Las Vegas, gives you some highlights, but not enough. Here comes the fastest rising star we've seen in quite a while in Monster Jam over the last few years. 2007 Rookie of the Year, Damon Bradshaw, behind the wheel of the Air Force Afterburner. If you know the story of Bradshaw, he traveled all over the world some 10, 15 years ago as one of the top Supercross riders, a true legend in Supercross racing on the motorcycles. Got out of that sport for about 10 years. He had kind of retired from high-profile motorsports, then got the opportunity to test for Monster Jam team. The Air Force Afterburner put a team together, wanting a new driver who fit their image, and certainly the clean-cut and very physically fit Damon Bradshaw, who's, again, just one of the guys who's so respected in all of motorsports, fit the bill, and now he is the driver for the United States Air Force's Afterburner team, and he is having an outstanding run. Now, Bradshaw has been a breakthrough pace in freestyle this year. Still has not been able to grab a victory on one of the high-profile televised event, but he's been oh so close, and as a matter of fact, gave an encore performance earlier this year in St. Louis that had he done that during the time and the scoring system, he would have actually won that event. So everybody knows this guy's due to win. Could it be here? Could he get that first big win here at the World Championship? Because he is certainly putting himself in a position to challenge Jimmy Cretin and the Bounty Hunter. Cretin's got the lead, but the Air Force Afterburner has given us the biggest air of the night. Look at that lead. The crowd absolutely explodes. They're on fire, on their feet, cheering the big air assault, and Bradshaw's going for more. Absolutely insane in terms of the height of these leaps. Damon Bradshaw is turning in the performance of his career. Now, you can see on the right front, the tire is flattened. Now, he'll continue to go through these cyclone-style donuts, and again, that's what you do when the tire goes flat. That's exactly one way to do it, and look at this, we do have a new leader. Damon Bradshaw moves into first place with a score of 36. Can he hold on and win his first world championship? Well, here's one truck that won't beat him. George Belhan goes over way too early in an Escalade. Steve Sims, for the second straight year, earns a World Finals invitation in the Stone Crusher Ford. And once again, like he did last year, Sims able to give the Monster Jam fans who come from all over the world to Las Vegas some big highlights. Again, this crowd's amazing. The greatest fans in Monster Jam. Tickets are sold in all 50 of the United States and every Canadian province and in a dozen foreign countries. including a large contingent of fans who come over from several locales in Europe, where a lot of big Monster Jam fans are these days. They come over and enjoy their trip to the United States and Las Vegas in the World Championships and the NGK Spark Plugs World Finals, as Stone Crusher ends up with a 26. Now, Mark McDonald in the Safe Auto Minimizer ends up being very disappointed. We'll look at some of the highlights for a driver who finished in the top 5 a year ago. He really had high hopes, but once again, when the truck just won't stand up, when you have problems early on and aren't able to fill the clock, the judges aren't going to be able to reward you with much of a score, at least not in this 24 truck field of the world's best freestylers. So it's a disappointing night for Safe Auto Minimizer and driver Mark McDonald, who scores just a 13 as the truck goes over in wild fashion. A driver who many people feel may be the best freestyler in the world who has not yet won a world championship is this man, Charlie Pauken, out in Monster Mud. He has been oh so close to winning this title before. Could this be the year that Charlie Pauken brings home the championship in the Monster Mud? You can see already body panels flying off the unique 1951 Chop Top Mercury, modified in the Monster Mud theme. And Pauken, a Team Gravedigger driver, knows how to use big air, knows how to keep it on the ragged edge. The problem is you've got to match air, and I think that's what we're going to see now. First, you're going to fill the clock, but with our leader, Damon Bradshaw, getting such big air, it's going to be hard for anybody to take the lead away from Bradshaw unless they can outleap him. Well, wow, look at Pauken going for it. He certainly comes close to matching the big air we saw on some of Bradshaw's leaps. Again, you're going to have a bunch of them, though, because that's what Damon Bradshaw did. So many of the biggest leaps of the night. And look, Charlie Pauken, right front is flat. Not totally flat, but the air is going out of it quickly. He has flattened that tire, and there it goes. Yeah, he's punctured it good. The air is totally out of it. Now, a driver like Pauken's not going to quit, but this is certainly going to diminish what he is able to do with the truck. He will fill the clock, however. At least the regulation clock. He's going to try to take it into bonus time. He has both front wheels flattened now. Now, one's tough enough. And actually, this could work to his advantage in a way, and here's how. If he can hit a couple of big moves and impress the judges, who again are professional judges who follow the circuit and know how difficult it is to drive this huge machine on 4 good tires, more or less. Now having to do with 2 flat tires, any big moves he hits here should be very impressive to the bonus judge, but it's not enough. It's a score of 26 for Charlie Pauken and the Monster Mud. Well, Frank Kreml, we'll look at some highlights of the Donkey Kong, has had quite the weekend. He won the Double Down Trophy as the fastest qualifier Friday, qualifying for the racing bracket, but then was upset early on in the race bracket. So now trying to redeem himself in freestyle, Frank comes out and is able to hit some big moves, as we've come to expect since the Donkey Kong team came onto the circuit a little over a year ago. Kreml does a little bit of everything in that truck, but as you can see, the wheel breaks off. Now, you'll notice that the wheel is not flying away. That's another of the new Monster Jam safety techniques. It's a wheel tether that actually holds that wheel onto the truck, and you can see he's able actually to flip back up on top of it, but it won't run that way because, again, it is disconnected from the axle. So Frank will just continue to run on 3 wheels, and that's not going to get you very far, as that wheel now is almost acting like an anchor, and over goes Donkey Kong. Now, earlier in the racing portion of the bracket, Adam Anderson was shaken up. He's okay in a racing wreck, so Chad Tingler, Team Gravedigger driver, filling in for him here in Taz with one of the biggest leaps of the night. But the problem is, after that landing, he was unable to continue, so Taz unable to defend the championship that Adam won here a year ago. Now we look at some highlights from the very popular Lupe Sosa and the El Toro Loco truck. The Advanced Auto Parts sponsored ride, able to, again, like we've seen with so many, as you expect at the World Finals, hitting big moves. But the problem is, if you don't fill the clock, you're not going to have any chance to get this victory. And Lupe looks good, but comes up short in terms of filling the time frame, and that costs him the opportunity to grab what for him would be a second world championship. But he sure turned the fans on with that crazy finish. The score is a 20 for El Toro Loco. Now, Lindsey Wink is on the track in the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder, the Ford F350 Super Duty for the team based in the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, corporately sponsored by Ford Trucks. And Lindsey Wink has certainly been very, very impressive in the 2 years that he has been behind the wheel of this truck. He came up driving some trucks in Canada, then got his big break driving for Jimmy Cretin and taking over in the Iron Outlaw for Jimmy Cretin's team. Drove there for a couple of years, won a lot of races as we've seen here on television, and then was taken by the Blue Thunder team. They were able to make a deal to get Lindsey Wink behind the wheel of this big Ford, and he has been a natural fit. Both he and Tony Farrell have represented exactly what Ford wants everywhere Monster Jam goes. Now, Lindsey has a reputation stronger in racing, but he has had top 5 finishes here in the championships before, and he may be on his way to another one right now. He needs to sustain this great momentum he's built for 30 seconds, and he might be able to challenge our leader, Damon Bradshaw, on the verge of making history. It would be his first world championship as we wrap up what we're calling a decade of destruction here in the 10th annual NGK Sparkplugs World Finals. Up and away with Lindsey Wink and Blue Thunder. One guy who's come close to hitting some of the big moves that we were able to see with Damon Bradshaw, but again, thinking back to the run we saw from the Air Force Afterburner, no one has hit consistently the big air that Damon Bradshaw hit, and I don't think anybody can beat him unless they are able to hit those same kind of jumps. The judges just aren't going to reward you. Well, look at this, though. Lindsey's backing up. He's going to go big here. Let's see what he can do with this one. Oh, my, what a huge leap. One of the biggest of the night from Lindsey Wink and Blue Thunder. He certainly appears to be on his way to a top 5 finish in this competition. I don't know if it's enough to beat the Air Force Afterburner, but he's in the ballpark. The scores will just be at 28, though. He will fall short of getting that top spot still. What a great performance from Lindsey Wink. Now here's the only man who can do what we call doubling down, winning both racing and freestyle, and there's no place that you want to do that anymore than right here in Las Vegas at the World Championships. Earlier tonight, Tom Meents won his 8th title in Maximum Destruction. He goes for number 9 right now. This should be interesting. Tom loves to call himself, and many do call him and agree with the moniker King of Air. Well, he'll need to be that tonight because of what Damon Bradshaw was able to do. And look out, he's going over. If he can't save it, he will not. Oh, he did. He pulls it back up on all 4 wheels. He's still alive. But is the truck damaged is the question. He gets it back on all 4 wheels. But I'm not sure the truck's at 100%. He clearly has knocked the front left tire off of the rim. The truck has come off the bead. And a lot of white smoke doesn't look real good for Tom as well. He's doing everything he can, but clearly that cost him any chance at a world championship. He already won the racing title. With freestyle, will score just a 19 for Maximum Destruction. Damon Bradshaw on the verge of being a world champion in Monster Jam for the first time. But to win it, he'll have to outlast this guy, Dennis Anderson, 3-time world champion in Gravedigger, and a driver who so badly wants to wrap up this decade of destruction with bookends. He won the first World Freestyle Championship back in 2000. Dennis says he wants this 10th one badly, but he's in trouble. Look out, over he goes. Wait a minute, can he continue? They will let him refire. The clock is being frozen. The Monster Jam officials check. He's allowed to refire and continue. So that just goes down as a spectacular save, and Anderson, boy, you've got to believe now he's really got a shot. Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger, and Damon Bradshaw has got to be the most nervous guy in the place. It's like the golfer who's in the clubhouse, but Tiger Woods is still out there trying to come after you. Well, Dennis Anderson is going after Damon Bradshaw, but at the end of the day, he will be unable to fill the clock, and when the truck flips over on Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, a new era in freestyle begins because our new world champion is Damon Bradshaw.
Damon Bradshaw is the world champion. You have won the world freestyle title.
Unbelievable. I don't know really what to say. The only thing I can say is that that win right there is for my family, my crew chief, and all the men and women overseas that are taking care of us, for us to come here and enjoy this kind of show. Thank you, Monster Jam fans, and we'll see you next year.
Damon Bradshaw again caps it off, grabbing the World Freestyle Championship.
An amazing cap to the decade of destruction. Damon Bradshaw, just 2 years ago, the Rookie of the Year, now the World Freestyle Champion with the Air Force Afterburner, holding off Bounty Hunter and Brutus who came out first gets a third-place finish. So Tom Mentz, your world racing champion in Maximum Destruction. Damon Bradshaw, the world freestyle champion in the Air Force Afterburner. But we're not done from Las Vegas. The Vegas Encore has become a tradition. Well, this year, the Vegas Encore would make history. Tom Mentz, watch this. Never been done before. Complete backflip. He actually over-rotated and did about a revolution and a half. Look at it again. Tom Mentz wraps it up on Monster Jam with a backflip. We'll see you next time.